manifestations, I've tried to assist professionally the governments in Somalia, the Somali governments actually, and Somaliland. Throughout the entire period, post-war, post-Second World War period, about 150 states have been created. And I doubt that any case for statehood in that time has been better than the case that Somaliland can present and has been able to present at any time for the past 17 years. It raises some very awkward questions for the rest of the world because recognition depends upon action by other countries, whether individually, regionally, collectively, the United Nations or whatever. It raises awkward questions because why is it that each and every other country fails to recognize what is as plain as a pikestaff in front of its face, which is the inevitable consequence of a state having organized itself almost perfectly in today's very relative world to do the job of being a state and participating among the community of nations. One obvious answer is that, of course, Somaliland has no sponsors. The days of Cold War sponsorship left Somalia, the greater Somalia, in a complete shambles, and since that time, there has been no sponsorship for the Somali people in whatever way they organize themselves at all. But does it really take, and this is a question not so much for you, Minister, but it's a question for all of us, does it really take the collapse, the further collapse of security conditions in the Horn of Africa for us to wake up to the enormous damage that we continue to inflict upon this extraordinarily resilient people by further acts of piracy, by further acts of insecurity affecting the Somali people and beyond the wider region? There is no real answer to that question that I can find other than great indolence, lack of understanding, and the eternal cry of wait for somebody else to do something. That is simply, it seems to me, not an acceptable situation for us to work on. Each of us can act on that, and each of us has a responsibility to do so.
Thank you very, very much. I don't think I can even add or respond to this. This is very, very kind of you, and I think this is $1 million question in that respect. Additionally, there is a moral case here, and there is a legal case. We have done almost everything that's right to do under the sky. Nation-building process without billions of dollars. Reconciliation process without major, without bloodshed. Institutional building and a democratization process. Healing wounds, all wounds. Bringing people together in a very, very difficult neighborhood. Being at peace with our neighbors. Cooperating with criminals, terrorists, and all of this. Now, I think it is a question to the international community. It's a moral case and it's a legal case. And in fact, for that matter, we are also judging and we are underlining the morality and the integrity, particularly with the African states, because this is something that ought to be endorsed. Jeremy, you are absolutely right. As we speak of, we don't know what's going to happen in the Red Sea coast, off the coast of Somalia, off the coast of Yemen, off the coast of Djibouti, off the coast of the Suez Canal. We don't know what's going on. And that is apathy. It's apathy in large scale. We have warned this. We have warned what was supposed to be coming. We knew all along. The symptoms were there. And today, that apathy, it's not a maritime issue. It's not a civilian case. You talk about now a Ukrainian ship off the coast held by God knows who. Tanks. T-something tanks, whatever the number is that they give. It is outrageous. And Somaliland is here. You are talking about over close to 90 kilometers of coastline, which is peaceful, which has got the seaport, which has got the capacity, which has got the administration, and that could be of help. And we have offered that help. This requires an initiative. I was speaking to my colleagues earlier in the office, fortunately. And we said, look, what is needed now is a task force to look at this case, because that cancer could go and move into places that you and I won't be even thinking about. It's very, very dangerous. It's not a Somaliland issue. It's not a Somalia issue. It is a problem of large scale that can snowball and reach into places that you and I cannot even. It might be a new phenomenon. So this is very, very serious. Thanks very much for your comments on this. But this is, among other things, this is the case. Now, as far as Somaliland is concerned, there is only one option. We are a state. We are here to stay. We are here to stay so far it takes. And we will never, ever take no for an answer. We have done it on our own way, in our own style, through our own resource. We are resilient, and we know what we want. Irrespective of how long it takes, we will be there, and we will be building that democracy. We are not there to appease others. We're not here to appease anybody. We are nomads. We know how to feed ourselves. We know how to live off our arid land if the wars comes to the wars. In fact, you see, this inflation and this crisis situation is affecting us. It's affecting everybody. Mortgage crisis, yes, of course. What do you think about? We go back to our goats and to our mountains. That's it. You know. So what we are saying is that we want to be brought from the cold. We have something to offer. We have an experience to offer to countries, failed states. We attended so many different conferences. We believe that Somaliland can contribute to international institutions, to regional institutions, to African institutions, to continental institutions, and to the world at large. We have something to offer. We did think through the hard way, and we will hope that we can be of help when it comes. And we are ready. On the record, I must go, that we do not tolerate terrorism. We do not tolerate what's happening in the sea lanes now of this piracy thing. Somaliland is there to facilitate and assist in its capacity.
Okay, thank you very much. The gentleman with the microphone, and then when he's finished, if he could pass it kindly diagonally to your right, please, and then if he in turn could pass it to the gentleman in the middle of that row.
Yes. Well, good afternoon. Minister, thank you very much for your talk.
Could you say who you are, sorry?
Oh, my name is Norman Terrett. I represent a group of investors. I recently actually was in Hargeisa, Somaliland, on my first and only trip there, and it's quite a wonderful place. It really is. I have to endorse all that the Minister has said. The place is full of opportunities, minerals, oil and gas, opportunities for new farming methods, construction, roads. The coast there, the Red Sea coast there, is wonderful. Wonderful opportunities even for fishing and for tourism eventually one day, which we hope will come. I have a problem because it's hard to get people to invest in this country. Everybody's scared. Nobody even knows the country, but everybody's scared. They think it's Somalia. And when I went around there, I was there for 2 weeks. Everything was peaceful. The people were nice, and I'd like to endorse what the last questioner said about the wonderful case of Somaliland. It is marvelous. I'll come to my question, sir. The EU are sponsoring the elections in March 2009. If they're paying for these elections, and if the result of these elections, that has been a fair election process, the presidential elections have gone democratically, which I'm sure they will do, what is there then to stop the UN recognizing this country? Thank you.
Well, first of all, I think the United Nations is not in the business of recognizing states. It's the member states.